Hello everyone, my name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of Episode 3 of Ahsoka. Episode 3 of Ahsoka came out Tuesday night, which, can I say, I absolutely love that they're kind of doing this actual normal time for a premiere instead of it just coming out at, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am so glad that they're actually kind of letting it premiere almost as if it's like a real show. I wonder if that has something to do with the first couple episodes of Ahsoka doing really, really well. Like, Disney never releases their streaming numbers, but they did for Ahsoka, and it did really, really well. And I loved first two episodes of Ahsoka. It was such a great start. So if you have not seen those episodes, go watch them. If you have seen them and you haven't seen my review of the first two episodes, go back on my channel. I have it there. But just so you know, there's going to be a few spoilers here. I'm going to kind of go through this and talk about it as if you've already seen the episode. But before I go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Now, I meant to mention last week, but I got to mention it this week. The makeup that they have done in this series is so good. I'm so glad that we're getting some aliens here in Ahsoka. It has kind of seemed missing a little bit for a lot of some of the Disney shows. And we see like some different aliens like in the New Republic fleet and things like that. And of course, with Ahsoka and Hera, those two look amazing. The makeup looks great. So I just had to point that out. So originally with this episode, when I loaded it up, I saw the length of the episode, just kind of rolled my eyes at first because I'm like, oh, great, here we go. The first two, good solid lengths. This one, closer to 30 minutes than I would like. But honestly, it didn't bother me. I felt like it was long enough. Of course, I could always go for more Star Wars, but I felt like it was long enough and it didn't bother me at all. Like, I didn't even really feel the time of the episode. But this episode, I've got to say, feels right out of the original trilogy, and that's probably one of the best compliments I could give it. Big shout outs to Steph Green, who directed this episode. She did an amazing job with this. It's just everything with like the characters and their interactions and the space battles and like the cinematography and the Jedi training, just all of that coming together. It feels so much like original trilogy Star Wars, and I love that. And I absolutely loved the Jedi training we had at the beginning with Sabine and Ahsoka. I really enjoyed the back and forth that those two have together, and then you add in Yang. I think that's a really interesting dynamic, and it's funny, he told her basically, oh, she's the worst like Jedi candidate he's ever seen. That sticks with her. I mean, that would stick with a person. But I love just how Ahsoka is teaching her. It almost seems like she's learned from her past mistakes of training her, which we don't know exactly what those are. I'm hoping we find out a little bit. But it seems like she's learned a little bit more about being a teacher. But I love the message there. Like, yes, the Jedi Order would have rejected Sabine as a candidate for becoming a Jedi, for training. However, it's not just about that. If you work at something and you really practice and try your best, like, you can get better. You can learn. That kind of reminds me a little bit of, I believe the character's name is Atten in Knights of the Old Republic 2. He's kind of like a smuggler, gunslinger, that kind of type of character. And eventually you can actually kind of turn him into a little bit of a Jedi. He kind of becomes like your Padawan if you decide to go that route. But I love that message. You can train, you can practice, and you can be yourself. I love that message. I love that we're really getting a different look at what it means to be a Jedi, to have the Force. And that's just so Star Wars to me. And I have to say, that part with Sabine and the cup, that was definitely a highlight of the episode for me. The space battle in this episode, I would say, was excellent. It seems like there, just for a little bit in Star Wars media, it seemed to be like really a lack of space battles. And I think starting with The Mandalorian Season 3, that really kind of alleviated that some, but I absolutely loved it here. So that was great. And like I mentioned, I really loved the back and forth with Sabine and Ahsoka and Huyang. I really like Ahsoka going out onto the ship, defending it and being a distraction while Sabine is fixing the ship. I think this might be the first time with like a humanoid character we've had gone out on a ship like that in live action. We've seen it in animation and we've seen droids do it in live action, but I think this might be the first time really we've seen it in live action. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but I thought that was really cool to see. Both Rosario Dawson and Natasha Liu Bordizzo were really great in this episode. Like I said, I love their chemistry, and they both do a good job of portraying these characters. I also have to say, I love everything with Hera in this episode. I love how she's standing up to Mon Mothma and the rest of the senators. I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead, from the great state of North Carolina, by the way, is doing an amazing job. I think she's really nailing the character of Hera, and I really, really did like that scene with her and the senators. I'd say maybe it's a bit frustrating that they don't trust her on Thrawn returning, but I guess that's how we're supposed to feel. We're supposed to feel what she's feeling. And we saw Jason in this episode. It is Hera and Kanan's son, and we'll see how much of an impact he makes on the rest of the season, if any. And that kind of makes me think, I wonder if they'll have any kind of Kanan flashback. That would be really cool. And I think the visuals in this were really great. The CGI looked great, and really, with this episode, I couldn't tell like any level of difference between like this and the films, especially with the shot of the New Republic fleet. And I have to bring this up. I know a lot of people are already talking about who Marok could be, and I'm trying not to get like too hyped up about this character or if there's any big reveals. I know a lot of people are wanting this to be Galen Merrick or Starkiller, and you kind of think of the names Marok, Merrick, very similar. And anytime there's a character who either doesn't speak or speaks very little and who wears a mask, immediately people think maybe this is somebody we know. Well, the past few times Star Wars has done that, it really hasn't been anybody we knew. And I also know that Sam Witwer has been credited as doing some additional voices here, but I don't necessarily think that means anything, but I don't think it doesn't mean anything, if you know what I mean. Honestly, I would be for it. I think it'd be really cool to adapt that character from the video games to live action. And Sam Witwer in live action would be an amazing addition to Star Wars. He's already done the voice of Darth Maul, and he's already done the voice of Palpatine some in the Clone Wars. If you decide to bring him into the canon Star Wars universe, he obviously can't be as powerful as he was in the games. But honestly, I would be for it. I like the character, and I like Sam Witwer. Overall, I gotta say, I really loved this episode. I do wish maybe we got a bigger step closer to moving on and finding Thrawn and Ezra, but we moved forward toward that goal, and I think what they gave us here with the training and everything was just really, really good. However, that's just really a tiny little nitpick in what is overall a great episode. Ahsoka and Sabine were awesome. Hera was great. The space battle was excellent. And the Jedi training, I absolutely loved that and the message. This was such a great episode, and I'm so excited for the next episode and to see where the season goes from here. But that's it. That's my review of episode 3 of Ahsoka. Did you see the episode? Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Do you think Marek is Starkiller? Again, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. We're getting closer and closer to 100 subscribers. I appreciate everybody who has subscribed so far. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It would absolutely make my day. Follow me on social media, pretty much anywhere, @CinemaSeth. And I'll see you next time.